Hi everybody. Hi. What's up YouTube? Hi everybody. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Welcome back all of you 150 subscribers. Karibuni sana. My name is Shifra. I also go by Shifi. If you're new here, I hope you like this video. Watch, you learn something, I'm just a 17-year-old teen content creator just trying to document her journey. Yes. Na kama ni mwenyeji, karibu, welcome back my loves. Thank you so much for always coming back and tuning in again and again and again and again. I love you all so much. So, this one is actually a different vlog. So my content on YouTube is, I'm trying to put it into two parts: lifestyle and podcast ish. I don't wanna say podcast because I'm not any certified therapist or psychologist, but podcast ish. So this is one of those videos. This is my second episode. The first one I did was last year, and this is my second episode where we do a podcast ish. And the topic of today is something that inatusumbua sisi wote from ages 5, ages 10 to 50, 60. These are things that are affecting us, all of us. And I think hapo teenagehood in kama kind of peak, I don't know, since sijafika above 18, but najua sasa nini ina blame. Sorry guys, nilikuwa nimepause because of this track that ilikuwa inapita. But as I was saying, as a teenager, these things have taken me fast. Zimenisumbua. Yeah, from such a young age, I think from around age 10, nilikuwa nishaanza kufeel ish nini. And today, actually, I've been thinking about doing this video because I like sharing something that I'm experienced and what has worked out for me, in hope that it will help somebody else. I just want all of us to be helped. I want the information to get out there. I'm not saying I'm past my insecurities. Hey, if anything, I'm in the thick of it. But I'm learning a few things, and I want to share with you my perspective. I want to share with you my journey. No, you're not alone in this, sweetheart. You are not alone in this. I'm really hoping that I lean towards a girl perspective. I hope that even if you're a male, I'm able to cover. If I'm not able to cover you, please forgive me. I'm just a girl. Yeah, so I hope my hair looks nice. Yeah. So let's start. So I prepare journal prompts of ChatGPT, Pinterest, and other places. So it's going in two sectors. Yes, and these are balls za kukulia. I hope unaziona vizuri. So this yellow one contains journal prompts that mostly help me share my journey. They're very intrusive, deep questions that will help you to open up. And you're not alone in this. You can also share your journey. You can also tell me how your journey has been. You can also do these questions here. I'll try to write them in the description, and I'll also try to write them when I'm editing. Hey, if I don't write them when I'm editing, it was not easy to edit. So these are the ones that are very intrusive and will help me open up. They're mostly about self-reflection. And then these are the good ones that's idea kujua, how do we get past it. Hata mimi sijazisoma. So we'll do this together. If you notice me not staring at cheats, because I'm repeating this for my viewers who have been here, I mostly look at myself here, here where my face is, instead of looking at the actual camera. So if I don't look at you, please forgive me. I'm trying to be in my natural element, and I'm also trying to converse in English in case tuko na international audience, kunaweza kuwa na mtu kwa UK anatuview na tuko huku tunaongea sheng. So I'm gonna try conversing in English. So translate, yeah. So these are the ones that will get us to open up. I've separated them because sikuwa nataka ati nichukue moja, for example, niulize what have you learned about insecurities, and we haven't even actually shared about insecurities. That's why I separated. separate ndio kukuwe na hiyo flow, you know, tupande mlima kwanza, tufike peak, alafu tuanze kushuka. Yes. Remember to subscribe, remember to like, remember to comment. I thank you so much guys for your comment. I love reading your comments. I just love the support from my community. So let's get into it. Have I said insecurities? Yes, the topic is insecurities. I feel like I'm about it, but it's just same. But the topic is insecurities. Let's demystify this monster. So let's start. So this question says, how has comparing myself to others stolen my joy? Yeah, stolen my joy. Hey, how has comparing myself to others stolen my joy? First of all, I really struggle with camera. And by the way, do you guys see this? This is a major influence of why I'm doing this security video. Like, someone need to okay apple. Anyways, sorry to digress, but how has comparing myself to others stolen my joy? Comparison is very real, especially for me. And for me, it's really such a silent comparison. It's very instant. Like, I will see something and be like, why aren't you doing that? And he's doing better. Why can't they do me? Like, I'm always comparing myself. And I think sometimes it steals my joy because I feel like, first of all, it helps me in any distract from being happy about the other person. Let's say, for example, my friend has won something. Instead of being happy for them and being happy that wameshinda, naanza kufikiria si mimi ningeshinda, mbona mimi sikushinda, am I not capable enough, am I not, like, you see, first of all, it has stolen the joy of being happy for my friend, being there for my friend. And one thing that I noticed really breaks friendships has to be comparison, because comparison is what will lead to jealousy. So when you start comparing yourself, now you start telling yourself, oh, she's doing nini. Yet, yeah. So first of all, comparing myself this is very evident because I have someone who's very close to me, and I constantly compare myself to her. I've never really told anyone, but I constantly compare myself to her. I always feel like she's doing way much better than me. I should be doing what she is doing. Like, it's very constant, and I'm really scared because I feel like it may break our friendship. I've never really said it out loud because I don't want to break our friendship, but I'm really trying to work on it because, like, yesterday I saw something that was related to her, and I started asking myself, mbona wangetumia mimi, like mbona walifeel lazima wangemchukua yeye na hawangenichukua mimi, like, and it's usually it gets me so mad about myself because that's my friend, you know. I should be happy about my friend, not constantly comparing myself to them. So yeah, it helps me. It helps me in a still the joy that I should be having for them. Number two, it just puts me at a very bad place. Can you imagine constantly comparing yourself? Oh, my tummy looks too. Oh, like, I usually compare myself. Another way is in terms of like body size. Whenever I see someone who's smaller than me, I'm always be like, I wish I had that. You know, I wish I was like them. Especially body wise. All these insecurities for a body that is going to be finished when we enter heaven. So yeah, I think inanirobingi to joy, by the way, constantly comparing myself or even constant comparison. It's just draining. Yeah, so especially not being happy for my friend. Say that I can't mention her because hey, sasa kumention kama kuchama rafiki, but I'm really praying that God gets that evil thing out of my heart because I don't want to ruin my friendship with her. But it's cause, like, you know, let me tell you something. My friend and I have kind of the same like characteristics. Like, it's kind of the same characteristics. Yeah, and it's not who you're thinking it is, but we have the same kind of characteristics. So when she does something, I'm like, wait, I should be doing that too. Wait, nini nini. For example, Juicy, I realized that my friend is really good at making first impressions in terms of conversation. So nowadays, in time I'm like, I wanna make a good first impression just like Nani. I wanna make a just like Nani. And in real sense, I'm not really a first time conversation. I'm still like, I'll really struggle na kukuongelesha for the first time, like making contact with you for the first time. Hey, I'll just say hi, hello, what's your name, nini. But now kwanza ku make joke. Oh, another thing is my friend is really funny. Like my friend is really funny, and me, I feel like I'm not such a humorous person. So juicy, I was comparing myself so much to her. I was trying to make jokes, and then akuna mtu anacheka because I'm not funny. Yeah, that was embarrassing. So even imekuwa ikini affect. I just wish that I could look at myself and see, as in not myself in terms of being selfish, like ni just move on my own terms, ni move on. My name is Shifra and this is what I do. You know, just because we're the same doesn't mean you have to all behave the same way. I don't really compare myself to celebrities, by the way. I don't know. Najikompeanga, utakuja kupata comparison is very close. It's not, people usually think of comparing yourself to celebrities and people online, but hey, kikulacho kinguoni mwako, it is closer than you think. Where did I first doubt myself? Where did I first doubt myself? Childhood, because of childhood, society, nini. I think the first doubt began when I was really young. I don't know if I should say this over here. Oh, but I feel like as a child I was like very heavy. What's the word? Very heavy sexualized, if that makes sense. Like nilianza kupata teases from men when I was I'm not even turned like 10 or something. Yeah, nilikuwa nimeanza tu kupata teases, and it made me very insecure because I felt like I was the problem. Like I was one maybe who had two big boobs, because I also matured really fast in terms of my body. Like many early bloomer by class 2 mi nilikuwa nishaanza kutafuta tu bra tu nini. My periods also came really early. I'm just an early bloomer. I don't know where that comes from because my mom is not an early bloomer, but me, I'm an early bloomer. So from very young nilikuwa very, very, I don't want to say sexualized because sound kama nilikuwa assaulted, but if you understand the term of sexualized, it's mainly like men always saw you in a romantic perspective instead of just wanting to be your friend. And I feel really make very insecure because I started feeling like I was a problem, like I was the one who had way too big boobs, I had a way too big nyash or something, or maybe nilikuwa nini, like I started thinking that I was the problem, especially, if it's just one guy, you say that one guy is the problem. But sasa ikianza kuwa like several women, like I will become friends with a guy, let's say nikiwa kama class 3, I'll become friends with a guy na akoko class 6, class 7, na ashaanza kuni. So I feel that's how my insecurities began, and from there I was always insecure about my body. I wanted to hide my body so that, because I was thinking that nikificha my body, maybe these guys will stop hitting on me, these guys will stop seeing me such a sexual perspective, you guys will stop seeing me such a romantic perspective. So as you can relate, I think that's the first time, and then from there it's just been a constant war. Like, let me tell you guys, I don't know if there's another question that will mean, but me na journey is your experiences really disturbed me, because I will even wear, like ningefunga masking tape kwa tumbo na kwa matiti, like literally ningefunga hivi masking tape kwa matiti ndo like zisionekane kama ni kubwa, nifiche tumbo nini, ningefunga masking tape ndo nifiche. Okay, nimesahau tunaongelesha international audience. So like, I will even like wear very baggy. And you can imagine I'm like 10 years. Nimevaa majumper, sitaki kutoa jumper. We all experience that. Not wanting to remove sweaters or nini, or not wanting to be. I will even like exclude myself from opportunities because I was like, for example, come on another debate. I'll be, getting on that stage. People will start seeing me, probably think that I have a way too big, short way too big boobs. So I didn't even join the debate club in primary because I didn't want people to think that mi ni mkubwa ama I didn't want, like I wanted to hide myself because I thought that hiding myself will make all of this go away. So yeah, and I have struggled with them like I remember even in class 7 I was in boarding school. So nikiwa boarding, on Saturdays we used to wear tracksuit. I used to hide in the toilet almost the entire day because I didn't want anybody to see me in a tracksuit. I felt like if boys see me in a tracksuit, na nitaambiwa ati ni mimi na waseduce nini. Oh my days. I'm so sorry to my younger self. When I was class 7 nilikuwa age 13. I am so sorry to the 13-year-old shifter that nilikufanya feel that way. And to every, by the way, if you are a boy and you're watching this, please don't sexualize women, don't sexualize girls. It affects them way more, like excessively way more than you think. So that's where my insecurities began very young, by class 3, and me nishaanza kufeel ish. What past experiences have shaped my current insecurities? Let's maybe begin with what are my current insecurities. Do I wanna answer that? I think my current insecurities, first of all, very body insecurities. Like I'm just very ish about my body. I feel like I will look way more beautiful if I like had another body, a much smaller one. Again, for the same exact reason. Like I don't want to be sexualized by men. I don't want that anytime nikitembea. And sometimes I'm not even doing anything. Like those who know me or those who have interacted with me personally, the least thing I do is seduce a man. Like that's the last thing I would do. So I don't get why I'm just being myself. I'm just like nakuwa tu mimi, alafu msee anakuja na anaanza tu matakataka zake. So even up to right now, that's the same thing. I just wanna be smaller in hopes that these guys will just watch it to kunifuata. By the way, just feel okay about myself, to know that I can be in a room and feel confident that I just feel confident. I'm saying what past and also pia nimeanza kufeel other insecurities that are psychological, not physical. Insecurities of feeling like maybe sometimes I'm too loud or I'm too confident. Yes, kuna an insecurity of being too confident, because sometimes, let's say for example in class, you're in class and I feel small class kama but in class you feel like kwani mimi ndo naanza maswali zote, kwani mimi ndo na speak up all the time, kwani mimi tu nataka ku participate in the talent show, what if they think I'm showing off, what if they think I'm being too much. That's another psychological insecurity that sometimes I feel like I'm being too confident, or I feel like I'm being too much, I'm being way too much of myself, or sometimes I feel like I'm being way too empathetic. I feel, for example, if my friends tell me something and then go like, oh, lakini si, and then someone says, kwani unampenda? Not really, see. I feel like I'm a very empathetic person. Just so nowadays, mtu akisema kitu, I might have a very empathetic opinion about it, but nitanyamaza tu ndo msianze kufikiria mambo zenu. Sometimes I also have an insecurity of feeling like a burden. I feel like I'm a burden on everyone, especially because I'm a person who has very heavy emotions. Like me ndio notice the very little things unafanya. Like naweza kumbuka kitu ulinifanyia almost 3 years ago na iliniumiza. So sometimes I feel like I'm a burden on others when I have my huge feelings. Then I struggle to communicate my feelings to you, especially to my best friend. Oh my God, God knows how I struggle to communicate to her, because I feel I'm scared that maybe she thinks niko na feelings kubwa sana, because mimi niko na very big feelings. Like if I'm sad, my guy, I'm sad, and if I'm happy, there's no in between for me. It's either niko always on the extreme edge, niko always on. If I'm depressed, I'm deep in the depression. If I'm happy, I'm deep in the happiness. If I'm sad, I'm deep in the sadness. Like meaning saying when I'm very, very big feelings, and sometimes I feel like that's been a burden on people who maybe aren't, maybe like maybe wao hawana big feelings. I know she won't watch this, wacha niseme hapa. I have a mentor. She's called Grace. And one insecurity I have with Grace is that Grace is older than me. She's like older, not like old. she's in her 20s, her late 20s. So one insecurity I have with her is sometimes I feel like I'm being too childish. Because me I'm 17 and her she's huko. So hiyo ni kitu moja. Wait, is that answering my question? Tunajibu current insecurities. Nimefikiria question, I'm like, how is this answering my question? But sometimes I also have an insecurity of being too childish, and that comes from, again, having way too big feelings and being way too empathetic. So sometimes insecurity of being childish. I'll try to behave mature and be like, oh yeah, damn. But deep in my heart, I wanna run for that small child. Deep in my heart, I wanna run and go to the trampoline. But hey, what if you see me as too childish, Nini? And so many other insecurities, but isn't domain. So what was our question? What past experiences have shaped my current insecurities? First of all, oh my God, nimekuwa body shamed so much. Like so much, and that just comes, and that ilifanya insecurity yangu ya body na feel like I'm way too much. Because sasa watu wakaanza kusema, I think in class 7, 8 na form 1 na form 2 pia watu wakaanza kusema, Shifra hata yeye anaongeanga sana, ana participate in drama too much na venye kuna mwili kubwa. Sasa naona ikaanza. Hey. I remember in class 8, I joined this new school. For those who know me from class 8, akina Kellyanne, Wendy, and other people from class 8 that I don't think are watching, because they more blog. But so I joined this new school in class 8, and then mimi nilikuwa nimekuja from a private school. So kukuja shule, guess who is topping the charts? Yes, nikaanza kukua like number 1 constantly. And sasa obviously ukasirisha people. Unadhani unaweza kuja alafu waanze kudominate tu watu wakupende? No, people will hate your ass. People will hate you. So one day nilikuwa kwa choo, and then these 2 girls wakakuja hapo. Okay, like mimi nilikuwa ndani ya choo, wao walikuwa nje ya choo. And then these 2 girls came, and then I could hear what they were saying, and they started saying, ati umeona kaka newcomer sasa ni mimi. No, they're like, umeona kaka newcomer? Like wakaanza kusema, nimekaona kanajiona sijui nani na wekakona matako kubwa nini. Oh sorry, should I censor that? But you get the nini, na venye ikakona nini kubwa, hata kama niona hata kanajifanya nini. Let me tell you, that thing broke me. I did tell them, I've never told them today that I had them today, and I imagine tunaendelea kuwa marafiki na wao. Okay, but anyways, actually let me tell you guys, nililia hiyo siku. I cried, and I cried because I was just a 14-year-old girl trying to make her mom proud, I was just a girl trying to work hard. I can't even tell you nilikuwa hata nimeanza kushow off. Like you can imagine 2 weeks in utakuwa umeanza kushow off aje msee, ama uko class 8 unang'ang'ana kufix your grades nini. That thing broke me. I cried and I cried and I cried so badly because first of all I'm in a new school. I don't know anybody I can cry to. So tuko kwa bed. Niko kwa bed. I cried that night. I cried because it was like, now why do they hate me? You know, like I'm not even done anything to them. You know, like nimekuja tu. I'm just trying to make my mom proud. I'm just trying to make myself proud. I have a whole line of people behind me just waiting to see me be successful. And then when I'm trying to be successful, you guys mwana ni kama na show off. And me, I don't think I was showing off, by the way. Yes, kuna times one I go a bit too much, but in that current situation, I was just a girl. I was just a girl trying to work on her grades and just being herself. Because meanings is madness to wadanganya. And nowadays I've learned to be so unapologetic for it. Nowadays I won't try to hide my brilliance from you. Like I won't show off, but I won't feel bad for being a top position. I will absolutely, let me not even talk about it. Hey, but you know, since class 8, you know, sir, ilinifanya nikitransition to form 1 because that one way I found girls talking about me. And also past experiences may shape my insecurities. Sasa nikukuwa sexualized by men. Like I'm just walking and then a man just comes and grabs your knee and you're like, sorry guys, nilikuwa nimetake a break. Okay, I'm gonna notice the break because nime-edit, but I had taken a break to go and text my church group niwaambie nitachelewa kukama because nishachelewa. What old story about myself am I ready to release, and what is the new narrative? So this, let me explain the question. This is what lies have I told about myself, and what are the lies nimejambia that I'm ready to release, and what is the new narrative? Because you know, let me tell you something. There's this story in the Bible verse that inasemanga, I don't know how to explain it very well, but inasemanga something like, if you chase, let's say for example, you have a soul, or you have a soul. So uko na hii cup and then iko na demon. Okay, kwa Bible hakuna cup, but najaribu kuelezea. So let's say for example you have a house and it has a demon or it has spirits, and then you chase those spirits away. If you don't find something to replace them with, if you leave the house vacant, the spirits will come back. I will try to confirm where that scripture is, but something like that. So why I'm saying what's the new narrative is because once we have released the lies, what's the new narrative we are bringing in? Now that you have released these lies, what are the new narratives? What is the new truth unajiambia to fill the house? Otherwise, if you don't fill them, if you don't fill the house, if you don't fill the vacancy, zile two spirits, zile lies zitarudi tu hapa. So what old story about myself am I ready to release? I'm ready to release the old story that I am not worthy of being loved. That is a narrative I am totally releasing. That is a lie. I am worthy to be loved. I am worthy of everything good. I deserve. Not I deserve, I am worthy. Like if I get good friends, I will start saying, oh my god, I don't deserve you guys. I deserve you guys. You know why? Because I'm also an amazing person. I am also a good friend. I'm also a hardworking person. If I get good grades, I'm not kusema, oh nini. No. I am worthy of getting a good grade. I am capable of getting a good grade because I am a smart lady. I am smart and I am brilliant, and there is no apology about that. Another lie I'm ready to release about myself is that salvation is not for me. By the way, salvation is not for me. That's another lie. I don't know if it's correlated to insecurities, but I used to keep telling myself salvation is not for me because I always kept messing up. And up to date I still mess up. Like I haven't done QT in like 2 weeks now. Since August began, sijafanya Bible study, sijaomba, sijafanya nini. But that doesn't mean salvation is not for me. we have to learn that salvation is not on your devotion. Salvation is not dependent on your performance or on your commitment, because we are men, we are flesh, and flesh will forever fail. The heart of God and God is what will keep us going. So I'm just praying that nitaweza kurudi kusoma Bible consistently, just be able to pray. I don't know what space I'm in with God, by the way. I don't know. Like, I know He's guiding my life, but I'm just not reading the Bible. I'm just not praying. Why? I just think I've lost my faith. I don't know if I'm struggling to trust Jesus, because He has already fulfilled and delivered me from my fears and my depression, but I don't know what's wrong, and I really hope that He reveals to me what's wrong. But I know salvation is not for me, not because I deserve it, but because God already died for us. All of us are meant for salvation, you know. So what old story? I'm also ready to release the story of that what other story I'm ready to release, that I'm too much. Oh my God, I am just the perfect amount of myself. Anyone who feels I'm being too much, I am not too much. Yes, kuna circumstances where nakuwa too much, na in those circumstances I myself nitajiambia, like mimi mwenyewe nitanotice na tunaongea sana but kama sija notice, I'm not being way too much. I am just the perfect amount for myself to people who are also the amount of packet. Pia ukikaa around insecure people, wataanza kufeel so when I'm around the right people, I'm just the perfect amount of okay. I am just the perfect amount of confident, the perfect amount of beautiful, the perfect amount of brilliant. I'm not too much. I am okay as I am, and Jesus created me with my big heart and my big feelings and my big empathy, because one day that is what I will use to serve Him. Because to date, my big feelings, my big empathy is what Christ is using to serve Him. Is what Christ is using to get to me, even. Yeah. So another, that I'm ugly. I'm not ugly. I am fearfully and wonderfully created. I may not believe that, and that's why I was saying insecurities are the light. I'm gonna share a biblical perspective of it, but I'm not ugly, because God does not create ugly things. Yes, God created everything. God created the earth. God created the sun. God created, and He breathed life into man, and He said that it was good. Asma, it was good and skumuki, but God said that he amecreate kitu poa, and God willing to create a beautiful sunrise. God willing to create the dazzling sunset, the beautiful lilies, other beautiful people, like people around us are beautiful, and then leave me out. God loves me, and God doesn't create ugly things. I am His workmanship. I am His masterpiece, created for every good work. Therefore, I am not ugly. I am fearfully and wonderfully made by my Master, by my Savior, Christ Jesus. So, yes. And I hope you also believe that too. God doesn't create ugly things. God creates splendid things. God creates amazing sunrises, dazzling sunset. God creates beautiful flowers, beautiful lilies. God created the galaxies, and He breathed life into us, and He wouldn't breathe life into something ugly or something defective. God loves us, and God calls us beautiful, and God has already validated us in every single way. I will share this in a biblical perspective at the end of the video, so stay tuned. So, what does Jesus say about being insecure? I think we'll do that as the last one. Let me see what the last question says. Okay, I tried to find a question. Then here Jesus say, I wanted it to be the last question, so we'll do this question first. He says, list 3 things you appreciate about yourself and why. What do I love about who I'm becoming? 3 things I love about myself. I love my voice. I love that I can use my voice to serve Jesus and just to release my emotions. Napendanga kuimba to feel okay. So I love my voice. I love my content. I love how I pour into my content, by the way. As much as I doubt my content, sometimes I go to my Instagram page from my spam account, and I view myself and I'm like, yeah, that's you, girl. That's just you. So I love how I pour into my content, how I am so full of empathy and life and joy in my content. I love that about myself, and that's why it's been to create content if I'm not okay, because I don't want to give half-filled content. I like creating content when not at nikiwa always okay, but when I can pour into people, when I can pour joy and inspiration and life into others, when I can be a disciple of Christ and not come here to give you half-filled content. So I love the life and joy I put into my content. Another thing I love about myself is I love how I love people. Like, I know myself, I know how I love people, and I will never look at that again as a bad thing. Like, I love people and I love them deeply, and I love them openly. Nowadays kuna kitu ya just being nonchalant about how we love people. No, I love you and I will show you, and I will spam text you, and I will tell you that I love you, and I will be there 500 times. I love how I love people. I love that, and I pray that none of my friends have to doubt have to doubt my love for them. Mi napenda watu. If you're my friend, if you're not even my friend, like just being in the same air as you makes me love you, makes me want to help you, it makes me want to pray for you, I just pray that Jesus encounters you. So I love how I love people. I love how I point to my content, and I love my voice. I love them. And why? Because there are ways that Jesus pours into me and how I pour Jesus into others. Yeah. What do I love about who I'm becoming? Who I'm becoming is I love that I just love Jesus is part of the story, by the way. I not love everything else, but I love that Jesus is part of the story. And I know when Jesus is part of the story, it's gonna be okay. So I love that the girl I'm becoming is still conscious about Jesus. She may not be trusting Jesus, she may not be doing Bible study, but I love that she's conscious about Jesus. I also love that she's becoming so unapologetic about herself. Like, I love that nowadays kuna zile vitu zenye ukianza kuniambia unanichukia about them, it's not really my fault. Like, if you start hating me because I perform very well in class, what can I do about it? And say, I don't cheat in exams. I sit down, and that's my hard-earned work you're seeing on that exam paper. So I will not feel bad about it. I will not be sad being unapologetic and insecure about it. I love that I'm also unapologetic about my gifts. Nowadays, being being confident, that is a gift from God, and sita feel so yes kuna times, but I'm no longer insecure about it. I love that I'm unapologetic about it. Like, my name is Shifra and I'm confident, period. Yes. Yeah. So, and then we go to the last question. Thank you. Kama umefika this far, thank you for watching. Yeah, I know sijakuwa fully hyper, but this is the real me when I'm having serious conversations. Yeah. What does Jesus say about being insecure? And verses to help. So, as you know, us here, we are a God-filled community. We are a Jesus community, and you don't have to be saved to watch this. But I would like to share what Jesus says about this. Not just the common and fearfully and wonderfully made. What does Jesus say about this? So nilikuwa research, picha. One thing that you have to learn is that Jesus makes space for each, like all of your feelings. Jesus makes space for them. Don't think being insecure means you're not a Christian, or means you don't love God, or it means you're letting Jesus down because you're hating his own creation. Nah, girl, nah. One thing you have to learn is that Jesus makes space for your grief, he makes space for your questions, he makes space for your insecurities. He just wants you to know that it's not the main part of the story. Your insecurities are just a line, and they're just like a line in this whole book he's writing about you. So, but just know Jesus doesn't disqualify you because of insecurities. And we see this in so many times. Like, think about Moses. Moses alitwa na Mungu akasema nini? I don't know how to speak, I'm slow in speaking. That's an insecurity. Jeremiah akaitwa akasema anafeel like too young. Saul faced comparison. You know that Saul was always comparing himself to David. You guys know that? Yes. Saul was always comparing himself to David, and we know that. It's in 1 Samuel, somewhere. It's in the Bible. Gideon also felt like he was the smallest in his clan. He was the least in his clan. So, first of all, there's Ecclesiastes chapter 1 verse 2 mainly talks about how there's nothing new under the sun. So, you being insecure, God also wrote that in the story. You know, it's not, you know, sometimes you always think the things you go through are outside God's story for us. We always think that Mungu alikuwa atakanikopi alafu nikaanza kuwa insecure. God makes space for that. God, when I say make space, is that God allows you to bring that to your table. God doesn't hate you for being insecure, you know. Because tumeona so many other instances where si kama angekuwa insecure Mungu angewatumia, na kama like Mungu alikuwa anataka hangeka, because you know this Bible is written by men inspired by God. Si Mungu angetoa hizi parts zenye Moses anasema ako too young to speak, like angetoa hizi parts zote zenye watu insecure, but he didn't, to show you that it's okay to feel like you're not enough. But I want to remind you, you know, I want to remind you that I'm not limited by your weakness. That is what God is saying. He's not limited by your weakness. He's not, what can I say? Let's say something and then nikapotea itakuja tu. But his grace is made perfect in your weakness. It's not about what you are lacking. It's not about what you are feeling. You will do this because I have given you the power to do so. Unaona? God is not limited by our weaknesses. He's not, because he still used Moses. Moses got the Israelites out of Egypt, despite feeling like he was way too slow in speaking and he was a stammerer. Jeremiah was still an amazing known prophet, despite feeling like he was way too young. Ezekiel, so many other, even Peter and John, they felt like they were not worthy enough to receive Jesus. But this has to remind you that our salvation is not because of how we feel. It's because of who Jesus is. Okay? Yeah. So, God is not limited by your weaknesses. We also have instances in the Bible where people have been insecure and God has still used them. But you also need to learn about what God says about insecurities. We have Psalms 139. Let me get my Bible. So, I've gotten my Bible. We have Psalms 139:14. Psalms 139:14. It says, let's start with verse 13. For you formed my inward parts, you knitted me together in my mother's womb. I praise you, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Wonderful are your works, and my soul knows it very well. One thing we have to learn, okay, acha niseme ni kama na dictate, but one thing that helped me get over my insecurities, as I've said, is replacing the old stories with a new narrative. And there is this thing unajua hii Bible verse, the truth shall set you free. Well, I think the truth setting us free is in terms of like atukisema ukweli utaachiliwa. Kuna hiyo pia, but I'm learning to understand the truth also in terms of God's word will set us free from our own fears. If you carry around the truth, if you carry around the like God's word, which is the truth, it will set you free. You will feel like there's freedom in knowing and liberating yourself with the truth. So think about this. The lie is I'm ugly. The lie is I'm fat. The lie is I'm too big or I'm too small or sinahi. What is the truth? You are fearfully and wonderfully made. You see? You have to replace the vacancy with the truth. This vacancy is a lie. This insecurity is a lie. Always ask yourself, what does Jesus say about this? Jesus says, I'm fearfully and wonderfully made. He knew you. He knew that on this and this day you will look like this, and the truth will not change. The truth will still be that you are fearfully and wonderfully made. You may feel like this, but let me remind you, you may feel like this, but the truth is you are fearfully and wonderfully made. Kama venye tukisikia a rumor about this, we always have the truth. Maybe like wanasema hivi, but ukweli wa mambo ni kwamba mimi nifanye hivi, and you feel so much peace ukijua that kuna the truth. In the same way, feel so much peace in knowing I may feel this way, but Christ says this way. I may feel too big, I may feel too fat, but what does Jesus say? Jesus says I am fearfully and wonderfully made. I may feel like I'm too weak. I may feel like I may just feel not enough. What does Jesus say? In 2 Corinthians 12:9, Jesus says, but he said to me, my grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. Therefore, I will boast all more gladly of my weakness, so that the power may rest upon me. It means that your weaknesses don't limit God. In fact, God finds you in that very weakness. God uses you with that very weakness. There is this time where I shared that Jesus didn't come for the polished version of ourselves. Jesus didn't come for the confident, or Jesus didn't come for the polished version of ourselves. Jesus came for, you see that person, you see that Nancy, or you see that Shifra who feels like she's way too much, who is crying in the bathroom because someone body shamed her. Jesus will meet you there. Jesus will use your weakness, and Jesus will give you grace in your weakness. It's like what I really remind myself, as I've said before, it's not about my capability, it's not about my devotion, it's not about what I lack, it's about what he has. It's not about me. What I'm telling myself is a lie. What God is saying is the truth. So just know that his power is made perfect in your weakness. That very place where you feel like you're not enough is where Jesus will use you. That place where you feel like you're speaking way too much or you're talking way too much, Jesus will use you with that same voice. You feel like you dance way too much, you feel like you read too much, Jesus will use you in that very thing that you think is a weakness. You know, the very thing that you're in a struggle now, like I struggle with being confident. I believe Jesus' work for me will be something that requires me to speak up each and every minute. Will be something that always, like, unakuja to learn that what you struggle with is where Jesus will find us. So yes, we have 1 Samuel 16 verse 7. 1 Samuel 16 verse 8. Niko happy niko Psalms. 1 Samuel. I got this Bible from my friend Ashley and Mogire. I love them so much. No, I mention it because najua what I watch. So yeah, I usually mention people when I'm gonna come here. So 1 Samuel 12:7. Kwani oh, 16. Sorry, 1 Samuel 16:7. But the Lord said to Samuel, do not look on his appearance or on the height of his stature, because I've rejected him. For the Lord sees not as a man sees. Man looks on the outward appearance, but the Lord looks on the heart. This was when I think Samuel akaenda kuanoint David, because David was the youngest of his family. And what I love is the last part. Man looks on the outward appearance, but the Lord looks on the heart. Say, keep yourself with the truth. People may think this way, people may focus on this, but Jesus does not focus on that. He focuses on your heart. Are you kind? There's this, for those who watch Daman keeps saying, it's not about what's on the outside, it's about what is on the inside. You may be pretty, but do you have a kind heart? Do you have an empathetic heart? Do you have a heart that makes room for others? Do you have a humble heart? So mostly nimelan to focus on building what's on the inside. And let me tell you something. Once you build what's on the inside, it will just magically radiate to the outside. Once nilianza kufocus on being a kind friend, nilianza kufocus on, first of all, being sure of myself, ndo ni make sure nisi project on others. Once nimeanza kufocus on building my relationship with Jesus, let me tell you, my outward appearance will magically radiates. Like nilianza kuona, oh wait, I'm actually feeling better about my body. Not because I went to the gym, not because nilianza kufocus on tips on how to deal with body insecurities. No, because I first dealt with what was on the inside. I first learned to accept myself as I am. I first learned to replace the lies with the truth, which is the word of God. Nikaanza kujifunza kukua kind to people, to have a humble heart, to have an empathetic heart. Nikaanza focus on what's on the inside, and it just magically or godly radiates to the outside. You'll start noticing that nowadays I appreciate comments of something like you made me feel, or something like you made me feel better about myself, rather than you look so pretty. I'd rather live knowing I made an impact on you on the outside than made an impact that uliona mimi ni mrembo. So if you're watching this, I'll just maybe like you to focus on the inside. If it's body insecurities, don't start focusing on how to go to the gym, how to eat better. Just sit down and learn to accept yourself. Learn to see yourself how Jesus sees you. Jesus sees you as his precious little child. Anashanga, wait, you think you're too fat? Girl, no, you are pretty. You're fearfully and wonderfully made. Once you find that validation in Jesus, and I will never stop saying this, once you find that validation in Jesus, everything else just changes. Our hearts are Jesus shaped. Like the moment Jesus just comes into your heart, oh my God, everything just changes. He just works in you, not magically. He just works on you slowly in his own way. You just start noticing things. You start noticing that you no longer seek validation, you no longer seek attention, you no longer seek enoughness from people, because Christ has already become enough for you. Christ has already told you that he loves you and you're fearfully and wonderfully made, and he died for you, and he has already, and you learn to validate yourself and tell yourself that God, out of all his creation, out of all the beautiful sunsets, out of all the beautiful sunrises, God still calls me his special creation. Can you imagine that? Like, he will call the sunrise the most beautiful creation, but he called you the most special, and he said that you're fearfully and wonderfully made. So I can't emphasize enough on having Jesus. As much as Mimi na struggle on my relationship with Jesus, I will fully advise trying Jesus, because he worked it out for me. He is working out for me, and he works it out for everyone. Let me tell you, what will start shifting is you'll no longer want to prove to people that you're beautiful. No longer want to prove to people. No longer want people to tell you that you're beautiful. Itaisha tu, like your desire itaisha tu. Tana tu kujiangalia. Wewe mwenyewe unajiangalia, you're like, oh, I'm one pretty lady. I'm one pretty woman of the Lord. So yes, another Bible verse. Oh yeah, another Bible verse. I just want to say that. Oh yeah, the truth shall set you free. That is John 81. You know, I'm speaking because I want to make reels out of this section, but no, let me just focus on sharing the word. Jesus, please help me to have the wisdom to be able to share this word. The other thing was John chapter 8 verse 31. Jesus said to the Jews who had believed him, if you abide in my word, you are truly my disciples, and you will know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. This is just to emphasize on let's learn to replace the lies with the truth. What is there's someone in my journal nilikuwa nimeandika lies and the truth. For example, lies is that I am alone, like I'm not capable of being smart, or I'm not capable of acing that exam, or I'm not capable of this. What does Jesus say? I can do all things through Christ who gives me strength. Or fear not, for I am with you, for I have redeemed you and I have called you mine. You are precious in my sight. That is Isaiah 41 something. Isaiah 41:10. It's somewhere where Jesus said that you are precious in my, and I've given up nations in exchange for you, for you are precious in my sight. Yes, that's what Jesus says about being insecure. That is what, honestly, getting this idea now, I need to start taking on now, because you see now what happens when you don't abide the word of God. Now since I check my Bible, I've just nimeanza feel like maybe I'm too big, but I'm gonna remind myself what Jesus says. Jesus welcomes us back. Jesus does not. It's not that God or that person who's like, say I told you that if you're without me, you will lose the one. I told you. No, Jesus is like, come on, Shifra. Come on, let's wipe you off. Let's clean you up, and let's transform you into my little precious guy. And yes. So that is it on this video. Thank you so much for watching till the end. Thank you so much. I hope you have learned. I hope that we learn, that you may feel hard, you may relate. Please like, share, subscribe, comment. These are my handles on Instagram, Shifinjeshma. I'm not on TikTok as much. TikTok is now my personal page, where like it's mostly for me, but Instagram is where I'm mostly creating content, and now YouTube. It is the first time to watch till the end. Thank you so much for watching this. Comment with like a pink heart. Yeah, if you reach this far, please comment with a pink heart and tell me a story, or tell me one Bible verse, or tell me something. Just tell me something. Yeah, so tumalizia hapa niende church. Thank you so much for watching again and again. We are at 150 subscribers. Guys, nilikuwa na celebrate 100 subscribers in April. But yeah, bye.